driving down the road, there's a couple of things that I can either record them or I can write them as I go, which I think the recording option is better because I can actually focus on the road. But oftentimes I have the thoughts, and if I don't get them down or get them out or get them somewhere, they're fleeting. And then they may come back, and when they come back, I may not understand them as well as I did the first time. So real briefly, we're going to look at a quick thing, which is a reservation of rights. Kind of like the thought process of the public insurance adjuster came as an answer to the insurance carrier. That was our original belief, but over a period of time, it's become clear that that's incorrect. We weren't brought here to protect the insured from anything. We were already here. They were actually brought here in order to protect the profits from the insurance company, and they do so by putting groves of people out there. That's a whole different topic. We'll get into that some more at one point or another. If you're at the camp, that's something that we go over heavily. However, the point that I'm getting at on the reservation of rights is we keep thinking the reservation of rights, like the presence of the public insurance adjuster, are one thing. In reality, if you look at it, if the duties after a loss require the insured to perform, then we have to agree to something. Once we agree to that, everything else becomes fairly clear. The burden of proof lies on the insured to prove their claim. Now, we hear that all the time, and it's probably not one of the most talked about things, but when you get up in the upper echelons of what's going on in the claim litigation and stuff, that becomes a clear indicator of what's going on, is that the burden of proof lies with the insured. You have to ask yourself a really, really simple question. How in the world can the insurance company perform the burden for the insured? If the burden of proof is on the insured, how can the insurance company, by sending their own guy out, satisfy the burden of proof? And why would they? They wouldn't. They get out, they go out and they give a good faith offering. They go out there and look and say, hey, here's it. Without anything else, here's the money that there is there. The insured hadn't performed, so what they've done looks really, really well. Then if anybody gets involved or anything looks kind of like somebody might actually start to perform under the policy, the first thing that the insurance company does is issue what? A reservation of rights. That reservation of rights is coming in because the insured has not been put on performance yet, and they're saying that they reserve the right to do so because the contract has not actually been triggered. If the insured has not followed the duties after a loss and POLs have not been submitted, if the proper procedure as dictated by whatever policy that is written under in whatever state that it is, then the insured has not performed. If the insured has not performed, the insurance company is absolutely not worried. Now, fundamentally, what you have to understand once all that is done, and you understand that the insurance company are sending their people out in droves. Now, if you want to know why our premiums are ridiculous, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, they've done a bunch of polling.
1.5 miles, take exit 13 on the right to Miss 43 towards Bay St. Louis.
Something's going on there. Must be an outage up here. But the second thing, you start to realize that the insurance company was never supposed to be there in the first place. And that what they've done is they've inserted themselves in between the insurance process and the adjusting process, and they're controlling the narrative. And controlling the narrative, they're sending their people out. If you talk to anybody that's in claims adjusting, you can ask them a question. Hey, out of all the times that you've been adjusting claims for an insurance company, whether it was a staff or an independent, how many lists were you given of things that you were supposed to pay that you weren't paying?
In
now
0.5 miles, take exit 13 on the right to Miss 43 towards Bay St. Louis.
That question sounds like a question that you've heard many, many times, but it's not a question you've heard many, many times. And I say that because I'm asking it in reverse. Normally what's going on is that the insurance company has deployed their minions, and those are multiple ways. That's in the desk, that's in the field, that's at the third-party administrators, engineers, building consultants. All of those people are provided by the insurance company to do one thing: to remove those things. Okay, so the question again that I ask now that we're paying attention is, how many times have you seen a list from an insurance company to any of their staff that are working for the insurance company that says, okay, I want you to go back and I want you to go through every single estimate that you've been given, every valuation, and I want you to make certain beyond all question that we have paid these specific things. Those lists do not exist. The fact that they do not exist and the ones exist of things that they're not supposed to be paying, and by the way, most of those lists are private and we don't get to see them. They come out in tidbits here and there in emails, and they come out big time in deposition. But those lists are not in correlation with the policy. That's why they don't send the policies, because the policy says otherwise. So right now what we're seeing is they are sending them out, and we are paying a premium. We're paying a premium in order to supply the insurance company with plenty of ammunition so that those folks can control the narrative and remove valid, legitimate coverage when it should be paid. Now, understand, when I say remove, that means that somebody put it on there. One of their people, somebody somewhere put the coverage on there, and they have these other people that are doing nothing but sitting in a desk and removing those coverages. We don't pay this. We don't pay that. The policy says we don't do this. When in fact, the policy doesn't normally say anything close to what they say. Or it may say something like, and here's a wonderful one for everybody looking, and I'll get off so that this is not so long of a video. We pay the lesser of the two. Whatever it takes to repair it or replace it. Like most things, mold endorsements, all kinds of stuff that they put in there so that they don't pay for. There's a caveat behind that they're always covering up, and that's no different. We owe the least of to repair or to replace. The part that they failed to get is that brings us back to pre-loss condition. Okay, if the repair does not bring you back to pre-loss condition, and the repair is not a proper indemnity. Indemnity is what you bought in advance in case something happened. That's why that thing is so special, and that's why they must treat it so special, because you paid for it in advance. If nothing happened, they got to keep it. But if something does happen, they don't get to change the rules. They don't get to put guidelines out. They don't get to say, we don't do this, we don't do that. The policy already said exactly what was going to occur. Y'all have a good day. Protect the insured.